Hi guys, so this is a new chapter. This is going to be about the prerequisites or things we need to keep in mind before we do a wireless site survey. Okay, so there are some activities we need to perform before we begin the actual site survey. So the work begins way before we start the survey. The first and a very important prerequisite is customer briefing. So there are around 6 or 7 of these prerequisites. So we'll cover one in each video. Customer briefing, the moment you are asked to do a site survey, the right way is to sit with the management and understand about the requirement. That is a must. Sit with the management. Okay. Understand, talk with them. Why do they need the Wi-Fi? What is the reality and what is the requirement of this Wi-Fi network, right? So you need to also tell them about how wireless networking works, why this network they need. Okay, so ask some questions around that in the customer briefing. Do a good interview. Understand about the requirement of the network. Give them an overview about the concepts of it. .11. Give them an overview of the of that in a small meeting. Let them know what they're coming up against. Maybe their understanding of the Wi-Fi network is completely different than what Wi-Fi can offer, right? You need to go and tell them what needs to be done. Second is, and I mean, of course, one more thing in this is that the customer may have a different understanding, so you should also be able to tell them the disadvantages of Wi-Fi. Not just the advantages, but disadvantages of Wi-Fi also should be shared with the customer. It's a must. Okay, it's really important that they know. Most customers have this misunderstanding about half duplex and full duplex. Okay, so what they think is that if my data rate is 54 mbps, I should get a throughput of 54 mbps also, which is not true, right? So you need to explain this to them as to why if the data rate is 54, you should not get a throughput of 54 at all. Explain them contention. Spend some time with them, teach them Wi-Fi, so that you're all on the same page and the expectation is correct. Because if the expectation is not correct and you guys are not on the same page, then it's going to backfire once the survey is complete, and that's not going to be really pleasant, right? uh, Talk to them about the advantages of 2.4 and 5, advantages of 5 gigahertz over 2.4 gigahertz. Talk to them about this. Let them know why they should be trying to design a network on 5 gigahertz if the clients allow, or if the devices on the ground allow that. I mean, that's really critical. And anyway, this is the contention mechanism as to how the data rate is not equal to the throughput or less than half. That can simply that can slightly become better in .11n, .11ac, .11ax. So if the network is new, and if they are purchasing the access points that have .11ax, then by all means design on this. Choose this protocol, everything else will follow, right? Design on 5 gigahertz, that is something which they need to also know why, and a part of that can be covered in this particular point. But yeah, these are the things that you need to discuss with the customers before you even start doing a survey, right? Customer briefing is extremely important. What I do is I book a complete day. I go to the customer premises and I sit with him in a meeting room, and I understand pretty much everything that I'm going to discuss in the future videos also. I need to have a clear understanding of what he wants before I even go and hit the ground and start doing a survey, right? So the next understanding, or the next prerequisite, which we will cover in the next video, is business requirements. Okay, so we'll cover that in the next video. Thank you.